guys, welcome back to Linda's Pantry, and today I'm going to share with you about my canning session. This is like a post-canning session chat, as well as I'm going to show you how to use your canned salmon. So I canned salmon for you in a small batch, and then I was blessed with, oh my gosh, 2 more huge salmon that I canned up. So those resulted, and I canned those with the bone in. The first batch was without the bone. It was filleted out, skin on, without the bone. And then the picture at the beginning of the video is the salmon raw in the jars, and I canned it bone in, skin on, and oh my gosh, I'm going to show you how to use this, one of the recipes, and how I use it. I already shared a jar of this, and I'll be sharing more today, so I want to make sure. But all in all, I had 17 pints of canned salmon. That's more than enough for me for a couple of years, and maybe beyond. But the nice thing is, this holds in your pantry for years to come. So if you buy salmon in the grocery store, typically it's about almost $5 a jar or a can, and it's good for about 5 years on your shelf. So fish is definitely what you should be doing, as well as your other meats and proteins in your food storage, if you like it. All right, so I love salmon, and I love canned salmon. I grew up with salmon patties, and it's just a really quick, easy, inexpensive, in this case, this was free, inexpensive way to put some really good protein and omega-3s on your shelf, calcium, all those things. Okay, so we're gonna make salmon patties, but let me just chit-chat a little bit about the canning session. I did 2 Tattler lids, the rest of them, because I thought I might be sharing, I did them with button top lids. These lids here came from Lehman's, and they worked really, really well. Very good seal on all of them. I talked about wiping the outside of your jars with vinegar, more to keep the oils off the outside of the jar to begin with, because they literally will bake on there in the canning process, and then they're really hard to get off, and it makes your jars smell, and you want everything fresh. And no, I don't want my canner to smell like fish. And so far I've been very successful between tuna and salmon. I don't have any fishy smell. I had no fishy smell in the house. Very, very little siphoning. But I will tell you, I was up till well after 10:30 that night canning salmon, because of the long canning session and the big canner coming up from cold to temperature and venting and all those things, and then letting it cool down slow enough that I didn't vent every bit of liquid out of the jar. I want this nice and juicy. If I want to keep this, or I want to give the broth that this created to Shotzi for over food, I want it left in there. I want to keep the fish as moist as possible in the jar. So that being said, it was a success, but will I can salmon again after work? No, I will not, unless I do not have to go to work the next day, because I was on the struggle bus for sure. Okay, so today I'm going to share with you on how I make salmon patties. So I'll bring you in, I'll get everything prepped, and these will have a little bit of an Asian flair. They're delicious. They've got jalapeno, cilantro, ginger, garlic, and I'm going to use Thrive's freeze-dried garlic, because that's easy and delicious. And I've got some spicy red peppers as well. So we're going to use a little bit of everything in here. Okay, and we'll put it together. Oh, and some sesame oil and panko breadcrumbs. And a fresh egg from the girls. So come on in, I'll show you how I do these salmon patties, and then I'll give you a taste test. I may do a side-by-side comparison, because I do have a couple cans of salmon in the pantry, but I already know canned salmon, home canned anything, is so much better than store-bought. All right, guys, come on in. I'm sorry. Okay, guys, so here is the salmon. This is with the bone in, and look how much juice. I mean, Shotzi's gonna get all this juice that's on here over her dog kibble. So I'm just gonna go ahead and open the jar, and we're gonna drain that off. So nice seal. Look at that. Okay, let me get a strainer of sorts. to drain that off for her. I've got a little colander thing. I'm gonna drain that off and then I'll get the salmon in the bowl. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've drained the salmon and you're just gonna flake this out in chunks. Look at that, oh my gosh. And the reason I'm opening up one with the bone in it, I want you to see how easy those crush. And I'm leaving the skin, everything. Your jar cleans up pretty easily, but look how nice. Now these were, here's oh, they just disintegrate in your hand. There's little pin bones. I'm gonna see if I can find any vertebrae. It doesn't really matter. We're gonna go ahead, oh, here we go. Here's some vertebrae. Now you can leave these out, but they literally crush in your fingertips. I'm probably gonna let Shotzi have that portion, just because that gives her a little bit of added something something. She's gonna like it. You totally can leave it in. All the pin bones and everything are staying in. They don't need to come out. My mouth is watering because I can tell how delicious this is gonna be. Ugh. Okay, so I'm just putting those right back in the jar and give my hands a rinse. So this is gonna be quite a bit, and look how beautiful and flaky this fish is. It's absolutely wonderful. Delicious, oh my gosh. So you wanna break it up with your fork, and it's nice and moist. Now, I'm gonna do mine a little bit on the Asian style. So I've got Thrive's freeze-dried garlic. And I think I already did a video on this for you. I'm gonna put about the equivalent to 2 cloves of garlic. That's gonna refresh. It's all minced up really nice. It's gonna refresh on its own from the moisture. This is ginger, about a tablespoon-ish of ginger. So you want ginger, garlic. I thought I bought cilantro and I did not. It did not make it to my cart, so I'm gonna probably add some dried cilantro. I've got some green bell pepper that I diced up. A whole jalapeno that's seeded, that's going in. Yum. I'll use the rest of that little bell pepper in a recipe. And then I have some red spicier peppers that I have in a brine in the fridge. And so I'm just gonna get that chopped, a little fine chop on that. Oh, they smell so good, trust me. They're spicy, but they're not super hot, so it's just delicious. We'll put that over there. Some green onion, because you want some onion. I'll leave some for the garnish. That was 3 green onions chopped up. I'm setting aside a couple tablespoons or so for garnish. Some black pepper. Now, I didn't put any salt in this salmon whatsoever. So, if you want to salt it, that's wonderful. But I feel like it's got a little bit of a... it's not salty at all. So, I might add a little bit. About a teaspoon, maybe a little bit more of sesame oil. 1 egg. And this is from the girls. Nice little fresh egg. And let's get some salt down on there. And then we're just about ready. And look, okay, maybe a half a teaspoon of salt. 2 pinches. If you want it spicier, you can add red pepper flakes, but so we've got our egg for a binder. Now I'm gonna add some, I was gonna add panko. I know I said panko, but I'm not gonna add panko. I have a mini sleeve of Ritz crackers. So they have that buttery, yum, buttery taste. Let's do butter. Who doesn't want butter in there? So we'll get this open. Maybe. Okay. So crushed. So I would say that's about a half a cup, third of a cup of crushed saltines, or these were Ritz crackers. You could use panko breadcrumbs. They don't have much flavor, so I opted for the butter. And there we go. Okay, so I added one more egg and one more sleeve of crackers. You want a mixture that if you press it against itself after it rests for a bit, that it's gonna hold together. So I didn't feel like I had that. Now I'm gonna add some red pepper flakes for some kick, because you know I like it spicy. And then this is a seasoning blend from Lowry's that's got cilantro and a little bit of more garlic. Because I am missing the cilantro, I'm gonna add some of that. Oh yeah. And lime. There's some lime in there as well. So we're gonna get this all mixed together. So hopefully you're writing this down. 2 sleeves, short sleeves of Ritz crackers, or 1 big one. 2 eggs, or 1 16-ounce can of salmon. Look, there's one of those bones. Then they just break apart. You don't even know they're there. Yeah, they're so good. And I gave, like I said, I gave the vertebrae to Shotzi. So this is ready to make some patties. And look how beautiful. The only thing missing is fresh cilantro, but that's okay. We're gonna get this all pattied up, and it's gonna make enough for a crowd, because, well, we might have a crowd tonight. Okay, so I've got my combination of garlic infused olive oil and butter, Kerrygold butter, down in the pan. And over here I have my salmon patties all out, but as you can see on top, that is not cheese. Those are panko breadcrumbs that I've kind of pushed into the salmon patty. I want them to have a crunchy outer topping. So I'm gonna flip these over. Oh, it's gonna be crazy. And then I'll do the same thing to this side. So you just push the panko in there, and that one needed to be pushed a little bit more because it kind of got squished. Anyway, I push these out, and they're on wax paper, and I can do 4 in this pan. So I just want a nice little crust on them. Don't they look beautiful? Okay. And over here I've got my panko breadcrumbs that I'm going to go ahead, and you're going to put about a tablespoon on each one, and then spread it out. And that's going to be your crunchy, crispy outer shell. Now, I have done these several ways, and I'll bring you along as I cook this salmon and bring you different recipes, but I've done these where I actually dip them, get the patties nice and cold and tight, and dip them in some egg wash, and then into the panko. So we're going to have 2 here on the side. I don't think I could, yeah, I can't fit them in. Some of these are like burger size. That'd be great on a brioche bun. Oh my goodness. So that's what I'm doing. When these are brown on the other side, we'll flip them and then turn them out. So this is going to be a lot. It's delicious. I cannot wait to share with you. So I just flipped these over, and look how crispy and crunchy. Oh, so the other side is getting crunchy. So that light panko bread, you know, on the outside. It just makes it crispy and gives you a different experience. You've got the buttery crackers on the inside, but you need some crunch on the outside, in my opinion. So guys, I hope that you try your hand at canning salmon, home canned salmon. So delicious. And if you, I'm gonna eat this whole thing. It made enough for 6 people if you have 1 patty. You could put that on a brioche bun, like I said, or you could actually just have it next to a side salad, which is what my intention was, but holy cow, I might have to have 2 of these. I love the crispy outer topping, the panko on the outside. The peppers on the inside still have a little bit of crispy. Absolutely wonderful. I hope it inspires you to try it, and I hope that you enjoyed the taste test. Guys, there's so many things you can do with home canned salmon. This is just one. And 1 pint jar literally made enough for a family of 4 with 2 adults eating 2 and children. Okay? So don't, or 6 people having a burger and a side salad, or yeah, it makes a lot. So don't be afraid to can some salmon. All right, and I'm going to go get my salad. I can't stay out of it. It's absolutely delicious. Oh, so good. I love the crispy outer shell. If you're gonna warm these up the next day, warm them in an air fryer so they crisp back up. Or I have the Tupperware Micro Pro Grill. You can put it in there. You never know you didn't just fry them up. All right, we'll see you next time. Bye. All the links that I have for anything that I've used today are down below. And yeah, make some salmon.